I've got the greatest theory.
All right, guys. Hey, how's it going?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
What's up?
For your Spanish-speaking
Muy bien.
fans. Yes.
Yeah!
We're going to talk to you about a very special topic.
Very special.
Tobi, the masked man.
You wanted it, you're getting it.
You got your
We have
Naruto
theories.
Adams over here.
We're not claiming this to be fact.
I watched this guy, Piccolo something or another, and he was like,
Shoutouts!
You guys are all wrong!
That's
you
exactly
don't know what
what
you're
you
talking
Yeah,
about!
Piccolo.
I'm gonna tell you!
I think his name was Piccolo,
We're gonna
like
start off doing
918,
beef on the
bro.
internet.
Yo, if you
Nah,
watching
man.
this, I'm coming for you.
You watching this YouTube channel?
So right now, there is not enough information to state
Objectively.
true and factually who is Tobi. We don't know.
But when we're
But-
right, we'll say we were right.
We've been piecing some stuff
So,
together. We've got ideas.
It's all speculation.
Let's
Speculation.
It's good
I called
speculation.
Obama. I asked for the best research team he got
Thanks,
in the business.
Obama.
Alright.
So we got
All
this.
right, let's go.
So, this point isn't, it's a very, very loose one, but it's something I've been tossing around. I believe that Tobi is actually two people, or was two people. Originally, the first Tobi that was operating...
There are two masked men.
Two masked men. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Good.
There are two masked men. The original person that was operating was the real Madara prior to his death. Before he died, he created some sort of clone to carry on his legacy and his plan, and to make sure Nagato played a part in this, a huge part.
But it's like not a shadow, like not like a jutsu clone.
Yeah.
We're talking like, and we'll
Like-
explain this later, like a Zetsu clone.
Like Test Tube Baby.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
some
stem
DNA,
cell
there's some
research.
goo.
There was some
Yeah.
stem cell research in
Done by
Naruto.
Orochimaru.
Yeah. He created this clone to make sure that Nagato got the Renegade. They needed Nagato to get it because he would be the only one. Pretty much the only one that would be able to use it because he's an Uzumaki. Which is a descendant of the Senju. The Senju are able to use the Renegade because the Renegade is the Sage of the Six Paths eye technique.
Mhm.
To do that, you need to actually have the body and the eyes to actually complete that. Madara was able to do that because after he fought the first Hokage, he got a cell sample and implanted the cell and the body within himself, unlocking the Renegade.
Which we've seen from the Edo Tensei fight.
Thank
So
you.
that's proven.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
So after he unlocked the eye and he had the Renegade, he was like, "Oh, well, I need to pass this on to somebody else so that I can be resurrected."
Because he's
He-
dying and he's...
He was dying.
Yeah.
So he found a Senju. Yamadara, you can't really just go around finding Senjus that you can trust. So he found the next best thing, and Uzumaki, a descendant of the Senju, and implanted in that. Created this clone, Tobi, to make sure that Nagato got the Renegade, stayed alive, and
Followed out his
followed
Yeah,
out his
followed
plan
his
to
plan, yeah.
resurrect Madara. Tobi says that, did you really think that creating Akatsuki was Nagato's idea, or was Pain's idea? It was my idea from the beginning.
Yep.
He also says the Renegade was his. And I know Tobi's lied about things here and there, but there's some times when you kind of know.
You can tell when they...
Because like even when Madara's brought back by Edo Tensei, he's like, well, I guess Nagato's finally grown up.
Yeah.
So like it's always been the plan
And
for Nagato to revive the original Madara.
with the whole nonsense about it being someone else, I'm gonna have to say that the nonsense, because a lot of people have been saying it's future Sasuke.
I think he's a Zetsuborg between Obito and a Zetsu clone.
But
that's a different video.
We'll leave that out. But
Dragon Ball Z did fusions, Andy.
Hyperbolic time chamber.
the whole thing with the random Uchihas that are popping up here and there, like
And
this
people-
guy, Tobi Ram, like stop.
Don't
It's
say
bad-
that.
it's
And
bad
don't say that.
storytelling.
Please don't do that. So please,
Please,
people who
yeah.
say that.
From a
bro.
story point of
Donzo's
view,
dead.
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to just pull in a random character
At this point, with no
you've been
backstory,
spending
no
so much
motivation.
time building up Madara
Yeah.
as this main
And-
force, this main factor,
there's-
doing all the research, setting up the
Let's
groundwork.
be fair though. So some of these people, they're thinking this theory is ridiculous, is what we're saying. We've got proof.
Yeah, we were trying to touch upon
Like,
everything
lots
really
of proof.
quickly.
We did our research, like we said. So
Not even
just bear
necessarily
with us.
proof, but
Some
reasons why we
evidence.
think this.
Reasons we believe
Evidence.
it's why our theory
We've got
could
reasons.
be correct.
Yeah.
First off,
Let us present.
Madara has
Yeah.
been the main talk of this show
The whole time.
for a while now.
The
They
get-go.
always reference Madara. They always reference First Hokage. They always reference Senju Uchiha.
Yeah, since the Sasuke Itachi fight, that's been the
That's
focus.
been what it was.
Is
The-
Madara.
the Moon Eye plan is, first off, clearly only going to be capable to someone that is on the level of the Sage of the Six Paths.
Mhm.
I don't think that goes with like, you can't dispute that, like, hands down.
Yeah.
So Madara knows this. He has the mind or the eye, which is the Uchiha. He needs the body. It doesn't, like, that's the reason why Madara has been going after the first Hokage and the Senju clan for so long. He has a plan. When Madara is brought back, he's talking to who was it? The second Tsuchikage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, who brought me back? Was it Nagato? And then when Tsuchikage is like, no.
Kabuto,
He's like,
mind
and Kabuto starts talking to
control,
him.
mind control.
He asks Madara, like, he asks, I'm sorry, Kabuto, he's like, you know of my true power and all this stuff. And he's like, at one point he's talking to himself and he's like, so this must be his doing, but it looks like it's not going according to plan for me to be resurrected like this.
Mm-hmm.
There was some relationship between Madara and Tobi
prior to his death.
Because
he had no foreknowledge.
There was
otherwise.
some plan going on between them. So the Madara is not involved. Done. He's involved. You have to accept that. The whole Zetsu army. Think about how many people had interacted with the first Hokage. I'm gonna stop for a second. You can count.
Counted.
One.
Like one person. One person has actually like fought the first Hokage on numerous occasions. That was Madara. Constantly. Back and forth. Senju, Uchiha.
They hated each other, yo.
But when you have that much interaction with them, yeah, you're going to get the cell.
You're going to spread some cells, you get some fluids mixed up in there. And
yeah, okay.
This guy.
That was the only possible person that could have really gotten the first Hokage's cells.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Uchiha's
at least that's still around in the story at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, also, when we talked about the whole Tobi thing, since we're on this cell topic now, if you guys really, pay attention to, like, the small stuff, details, which you should, we were talking about Tobi. Tobi, has been in a lot of fights so far. Now, if you guys have noticed, every time Tobi has lost a limb or lost some kind of body part,
just been damaged in general.
Yeah, or damaged in general, he looks like a Play-Doh figure. Like,
it's always the white goo.
It's always the white goo.
This goes back to the two Madara things
which Zetsu, technically, if you guys have been keeping up with it right now, you guys know that I believe the Zetsus have made perfect clones of ninjas in the army, and they're going within the units and trying to take them out. Thus, meaning Naruto's the only one that can seek them out at this point.
Now, with the touching upon that, if in battle, a random Zetsu clone, there's millions of them, can create an exact replica,
perfect,
down to the chakra of Neji, what's stopping Madara from creating an exact clone?
And the fact, sorry to cut you off, but you also said Neji's Bakugan can't even pick it up. He says they look just like regular people. Like, he can't even tell the difference. Down to the chakra points and everything.
So, what's stopping Madara from having an exact clone, a special creation, an exact clone of himself, down to the memories, down to everything, to create, to make sure that Madara's plan goes as planned.
Yeah. So when his physical body dies, he still has an
and it was clear that Madara was planning on being revived at one point.
Yeah.
He even said, if I knew that you guys were going to be, when he was talking to the Kage, he's like, if I knew you guys were going to be this week, I would have taught the first Hokage how to revive himself. So the whole
contest. Yeah,
the whole him being revived, he had this planned out.
Yeah.
That goes back to the whole, this plan is all about Madara. So, and the whole Tobi's the second Hokage. If he was the second Hokage,
really?
So we've already made it clear that Madara is doing this whole plan thing. If the second Hokage was Tobi, there would be no interaction between Madara and the second Hokage. He hated the first Hokage. He knew the second Hokage. He hated him too because the second Hokage was the one that created the police force. So there's no doubt that he would not be messing around with the second.
And he's super pissed when he actually gets brought back by impure resurrection, which is the second
guys,
technique.
If you guys don't remember the chapter, Madara kind of just punched the hell out of the coffin, bam, like
dude's pissed.
Bam, like what the hell are you waking me up?
Wakes up gang banging on bacon, straight up.
I love bacon.
Little dribbles there. What is that? But yeah, like we were saying before, though, Madara had pretty much knew. Like, I would have to say Madara was at this point. The way I would say it is Madara was on that Itachi kind of thinking. Like, he was thinking 20 steps ahead. Thus, he's like, I'm not going to be alive this long. Let me set this motion so I know I can ensure myself I will be resurrected. I will come up like a fail-safe plan.
Well, it's not even that
I'd say.
complicated of a plan if you think about it.
It's not. You got a technique that brings people back from the dead. You make sure someone can do it for you.
Yeah, anybody can just do that, right?
Well, you make sure you find someone who doesn't send you.
Because otherwise the technique doesn't really make sense in a plan. Because then, like, the only other way is, like, because, like, say Madara, like, Tobi is Madara. It's like, alright, so at some point, like, this Tobi Madara guy is going to die only to be brought back by Nagato. That doesn't make any sense. It makes a lot more sense to have the original Madara being brought back by Nagato. And, yeah.
So
the thing, and then the whole Tobi thing is, you need, like, Nagato's a kid. There's a lot of stuff that could happen.
Yeah.
You need someone to make sure that first he's going to get the Rinnegan. Second, to make sure that he's going to be alive long enough to bring back.
Yeah, to be able to use the technique.
And then on top of that, you need to be. It's like Inception. You slowly need to plant that idea inside of Nagato's head to bring back Madara. Like,
that's a big tall order. It's like, hey, do you want to bring back the super evil ninja of the world?
No. So he needed to make sure that Nagato would go along with the plan, which means that you need someone that is going to groom.
Someone to to groom, to lay the groundwork for you.
To groom Nagato into
who better
the person,
to use than yourself?
Yeah.
So basically, what I think we're all trying to come to, I guess this is what I'm just saying. I feel like we're all trying to come to the assumption that Tobi's sole purpose and mission was just to make sure Madara got resurrected to perfectness. That's what we're trying to just say right here. Like, Tobi right now, he also, I'm assuming his also mission was to extract the Jinchuriki keys. Of course, he's having a problem with Naruto and Killer B, of course, because those are the only two left. But, yeah, basically, Tobi's sole purpose mission was to make sure the success of resurrection of Madara Uchiha.
The plan was ready. Like, it's just to get the plan ready and bring him back and done.
So I'm going to throw in one more point before we sign off here, and that's the recent story inclusion of Orochimaru. Mm-hmm. He's playing a big part in the Kabuto flashbacks. Shigetsu and Jugo just recently found his lab. There's a reason he's being introduced, and
There's
sure
always a reason.
I'm pretty sure he has some involvement in the Zetsu process, the Zetsu project.
Kabuto even said at one point, like, when he's talking with Madara, and he's like, he says Orochimaru in the chapter. Like, me and Orochimaru had been researching you for years. So I'm figuring, Orochimaru had his projects or whatnot, but like the big project was having to do with the Senju. That's why he created Yamato, and had to do with Madara. They were researching both of those two. There's no other reason why you'd create a Yamato clone.
Yeah. And it also explains his interest in Sasuke.
Yeah.
As the only other member with Sharingan, because all the other Sharingans are owned by Tobi.
Yeah, as an author, why are you going to bring up all of this genetic cloning research if you're not going to use it in your story?
There's always a method to madness. And let's also keep in mind...
Things are foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. What are they foreshadowing?
Yes.
That's what we think.
Naruto's always good at foreshadowing stuff, but let's not also forget the key fact that Senjutsu found that scroll that will change the tide that's going to go on with the war. Because when he took it, if you guys remember, when him and Hugo, he had this, like, the face that we can change the hands of the war, which I feel like it has
big
something...
deal face.
Yeah, like, I feel like it has something to do with this war, with the clones or anything that's going on right now, but we're going to have to wait.
Real quick, one more point.
I want to talk about my point.
And then we'll go to Andy. With people that say that it's
well, we can cut it out if you don't.
All right.
With people that say that it might be Madara's brother. Okay, with the whole like, oh, he saw the coffin and Madara came out and he was like, oh no. If you were created by someone, and let's keep in mind that Tobi has mentioned many times that he's a shell of his former self. He's not as strong and all that. If you were created by someone else and you had a plan, and I'm pretty sure Madara was pretty strict about his plan and told him like, don't mess this up. And then the guy that you were supposed to groom betrays you and revives a whole village that Madara hated, and then is going to be revived by
all of a sudden your boss comes back
by a technique that by the person that created that technique, he hated him as well, and he's coming back. I might be a little nervous too.
Yeah,
I'd be like, yo, chill out, bro, don't do that.
So, whoa there, you need to fall back.
Yeah, whoa there.